Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today we have a new guest gracing our channel, senior journalist Sri Shekhar Iyer ji. Shekhar ji, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, Sri Ayerji, and it's my privilege to join your show. I believe it is very popular, and I've heard about a lot about it. And I watched several of your shows where you bring very incisive analysis and depth, and you bring a lot of things to limelight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's indeed a pleasure and it's an honor to be recognized by a fellow journal. I got into this profession quite by accident, but you've been there all your life. Viewers, a little bit of a blurb about Sri Shekhar Iyer ji. He is a senior journalist with more than 3 decades of experience. Sri Iyer was senior associate editor of Hindustan Times and political editor of Deccan Herald in New Delhi. He has covered a range of issues in his career, writing on major political, economic, and other developments since the 1980s. He continues to pen columns as an opinion writer in leading publications and websites on different aspects of national affairs. He also serves as a news analyst with public broadcasters such as the All India Radio, Doordarshan News, and Doordarshan India, and a few private television channels such as Times Now. Shekharji, it's really nice that you could spare some time to talk with us. So what I wanted to talk to you, sir, is this Maharashtra coup that has taken place. Is this something that is going to reverberate across India? Because we have a lot of regional parties who really don't have a narrative, in the sense that they don't appear to be wanting to run based on their record on the ground as to what they did when they during their term, and therefore they are resorting to some other tactics to try and stay relevant. You can take examples of any state you want, Shekharji. I leave the floor to you. So tell us what you think is happening.
Indeed, Sriji, there is a lot of tension brewing among the regional parties after what has happened in Maharashtra. And everybody kept saying that that the government there would not last because of the contradictions and the manner in which the whole thing happened after the 2019 mandate, because the mandate was for the BJP and Shiv Sena together in a campaign that was headed by Prime Minister Modi, and there were requests from several Sena legislators and candidates who wanted Modi to campaign for them. So finally, when the verdict came, Uddhav Thackeray brought up this issue of who should be the chief minister, and it should be by rotation, and the first chance should go to the Shiv Sena. Obviously, BJP did not agree, and even as the their internal bargaining was going on, we saw a unique thing happening, because Sharad Pawar stepped in, approached the BJP saying that he could form a government there with the help of BJP, and he even met the Prime Minister in Parliament House, if you remember, in the October of 2019. And he kept bargaining with the Congress and Shiv Sena on the other hand. So that was the time when BJP decided to strike at Sharad Pawar and got in touch with Ajit Pawar, his nephew, who was equally keen, because he feared Sharad Pawar may prefer his daughter, Supriya Sule, rather than him. That's why you had that incident of overnight swearing in of the Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar, and that didn't work because Pawar managed to keep the flock together and brought a coalition of such a contradiction. You had the Congress on one side, you had Shiv Sena, NCP coming together purely on a numerical basis, and Uddhav Thackeray was given chief ministership as a kind of a trophy. But during that negotiation with Sharad Pawar, actually he wanted to put his son Aditya Thackeray. Sharad Pawar advised him that your son will not be acceptable, and why not you take over? And that's when he fell for Pawar's bait, and he took over. Now, Sena legislators, okay, they said, okay, the power has come and Uddhav Thackeray is the CM. But within few months, they were totally disillusioned, because Uddhav Thackeray was a total greenhorn at chief ministership. He didn't know how to run the show, and his wife became the power center. His son, as usual, was the most important person. And there was the other guy called Sanjay Raut, who we have seen on the television, a member of parliament. And this formed a kind of a group, or a clique, you may say, or a coterie. And they were running the show. And the NCP got a better deal because they got all important portfolios, and Pawar ensured that their demands were met, and they got what is called the creamy layer, the malai portfolios, and they could go about their business. But the most anguish was the Congress lot, because Congress got poor portfolios. They managed to get the speaker's chair, but then they were having a lot of problem because Uddhav Thackeray was not at all communicating with the fellow ministers. This was the scene that was going on, and the BJP, the chief ministerial candidate of 2019 election became the leader of the opposition, and he waited for his time. As the internal, resentment grew in Sena, because at the time the senior most person was Eknath Shinde, and it has been a tradition in Thackeray, controlled Shiv Sena, that no member of the Thackeray family actually sits in the CM's chair. It is usually left to a person who is seen, and the remote control is the Sena, with the Thackeray member. But here was a new situation. In fact, Pawar even suggested, why not put Eknath Shinde? But Uddhav Thackeray did not agree to Eknath Shinde taking over, because that would have come in the way of Aditya Thackeray, eventually becoming CM. From that day onwards, the trouble was brewing, and Fadnavis was waiting for his time. And finally, we saw 2 years of COVID. They couldn't do anything. And in the meantime, the administration went down, and a lot of corruption cases. And Sena legislators were getting those, the fear. How would they face the civic election? Because which kept on getting postponed. Finally, it is for October. That's the time when they realize that before Congress or NCP leaves, dump Sena in the name of secularism, they decided to dump NCP and Congress in the name of Hindutva. This is a very unique thing. Normally, the so-called secular parties dump others for the cause of secularism. Here, for the cause of Hindutva, they left because they have to face their voters who elected them because of Modi and BJP and the whole Hindu cause. So that particular the episode and the run-up to what happened, and Uddhav Thackeray was unaware of what was happening in his party. Such was the distance between him and the legislators, between him and the rank and file. Now, given this scenario, the regional parties, which are, because the big message that is coming out is what Prime Minister Modi has often been saying, that the dynastic politics will eventually crumble or crush the rank and file of those parties. We have seen it happening in Trinamool Congress because there was a revolt there. That's how BJP when they moved into Bengal. But there they overplayed the that aggressiveness, which did not work with the Bengali milieu, because the Bengalis, they are not known for too much of aggression. And the BJP's too much of aggression did not work there, and Mamata staged a comeback with using playing the victim card. But after what has happened in Maharashtra, there is a lot of worry, because eventually she has to make way for her nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, who is waiting in the wings and who controls everything. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, the DMK, any time you can expect Stalin to give a role or importance to Udayanidhi Stalin. We are already seeing them together at several public platforms. Now, if dynastic politics is going to be the mainstay of these regional parties, then the BJP is not going to keep quiet. And you heard the Prime Minister saying it, categorically from the Hyderabad National Executive. He has been saying it often. So all your regional parties are driven by dynasty. Because the question is whether it is Shiv Sena or whether it is NCP or even the Congress. You saw the kind of drama that went on in the Congress. They had a conclave in Udaipur. Then what happened? I mean, it's back to square one. That Sonia will hold the fort till till such time when Rahul really thinks that he should take charge. Or, I mean, this is the situation. And all those GT3, protests all vanished because some of them were made Rajya Sabha members, were accommodated in the Congress Working Committee, and that's the end of the story. So every party that you see, perhaps other than the left parties, you find it's a dynasty. So BJP senses a big kill in this. And this is worrying all these regional satraps who have got only a dynasty to back up on. So this is the new thing that's emerging. And that's worrying even the TRS fellow. The Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, K. Chandrasekhar Rao, he has his son Reddy, K.T. Ramarao waiting. But BJP has displaced Congress as the main opposition. And BJP has also succeeded in showing in Telangana that there is what was a secret understanding between Asauddin OC's MIM and TRS is actually an open thing. So this is the kind of scenario that is prevailing, and people are worried that BJP can strike at will. And BJP is a patient, it's like a vulture. It's a patient bird. They will wait for the kill. So this is sent, shivers, as you have mentioned, your opening remarks. Shia.
Thank you so much, sir. It would be remiss of me if I don't touch upon the Sushant Singh Rajput murder case slash suicide, I should say. Do you think that this government will earnestly take it up? Although it is a CBI investigation, but CBI was murmuring that the state government wasn't being cooperative and that the evidence may have been compromised. What are your thoughts on how do you think the new government is going to approach the Sushant Singh Rajput case?
Well, I think that there are a number of cases, including Sushant Singh Rajput case, where there could be a fresh look at investigations that have gone thus far. And if there are new dimensions to it, I'm sure Devendra Fadnavis or Eknath Shinde will not let it go like that. But at the same time, I think the new combination is keen to send a message that they are not gunning for anyone, they are not targeting anyone, because that's important. Since the whole thing is to, in the memory of Balasaheb Thackeray, the memory of, the ordinary Shiv Sainik, I do not see an immediate kind of, action on the people who are suspected to be close to the Thackeray family or anyone being involved in this whole episode. But definitely one cannot rule out a deeper investigation and possibility of fresh action in that matter.
See, the reason I touched upon this, and I will go on to the other topics, so just one small observation. The names of one of the sons of Ajit Pawar and Aditya Thackeray were mentioned in the suicide slash killing slash throwing of somebody called Disha Salyan from 14th floor or something like that down to the ground, because they said that in that party those two were there. So this is not just a matter of some mafia trying to kill these two, but it appears to have been, there's been more than that, and these people were in power at that time. So that's why I'm asking this question. There's also a lot of ED raids happening against the NCP and Shiv Sena, as well as I think Congress ministers in Maharashtra. So there is a complex puzzle or complex chess that's going on. Overall, just wrap it up for us as to what will happen to those cases, and then we can move on to other topics.
Well, I think because they kept, the Fadnavis, came out with that remarks yesterday, after Eknath Shinde won the vote. He said, look, people keep on saying it is ED which caused all these MLAs to switch side, but that ED stands for actually Eknath and Devendra. That is his first name, Devendra Patnavis. So I think so that was a good one, in the house, and everybody had a good laugh. And what I see is, to say that, the whole thing has happened, fear of ED, that would be insinuating all the Shiv Sena MLAs. That would not be fair to them. But the fact remains, the politics of Sharad Pawar, has involved people with very questionable financial integrity, people with questionable financial dealings, and that can be same said about Ajit Pawar too. That can be said about, and this time we have seen even Uddhav Thackeray's close family members. They have come under scanner, and of course, two ministers. Particularly the Home Minister. That was actually the undoing of this government, I would say. Anil Deshmukh, where senior police officers claiming they were asked to collect 100 crores of bribe from the dance bars. That kind of allegation you haven't heard against any Home Minister in any state of India. That kind of thing shows a lot of money which has been, up for takes in Maharashtra for a long time. And Sharad Pawar is known to use this financial clout. That's his USP all along, apart from the fact that he plays the Maratha card well. Now, given that scenario and the fact that, you saw the Congress ministers previously, whether it is Adarsh scam, building of that huge high-rise, violation of all bylaws, building bylaws, that case is there. There are several cases. So when it comes to that, it will be that. But then I sense that the new government in Maharashtra will go cautiously, because they would not let their political opponents to play the victim card. But action is being taken at the individual level. You can already see, for instance, that the Punjab Maharashtra bank scam. That is how Sanjay Raut got into trouble, and he quickly repaid that 55 lakhs that he had taken as loan and forgot about it. We saw that, and he repaid. Yeah. But nevertheless, investigation is going on. There is a huge thing happening there. Those cases cannot close. That's for sure. They will take their own time. But at the same time, I think the Prime Minister himself, as well as Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde, would at the moment consolidate this government. And get on with the task of, as they have said earlier. See, several projects, got stalled, whether it's the bullet train project or several other development projects, infrastructure projects. The Prime Minister is keen these projects take off because you have the 2024 elections. So they would want in the next 24 months, they have some results to show by way of, these projects taking off, generating jobs, generating business. So these are the main agenda, as I can see from their list of priorities. Of course, these cases, there will be a lot of demand that these cases be reopened, a fresh look is taken, and if there are serious evidence, I would say, because Devendra Fadnavis is a very, very careful politician. He will play his card very carefully because he is a real engine in this government. So I do not see a kind of a quick kind of tit for tat kind of approach, but definitely everybody will be on watch, Shriji.
Thank you so much, sir. And now let's take a look at what is happening in Jharkhand. I'm going to show you a story that appeared in PGurus.com. Can we have that story, please? So here, what has happened is that, first of all, Jharkhand is being riven because of the fact that a scheduled tribe person is now going to be the president of India for all practical purposes, because the contest doesn't look like it's going to be an even one. And therefore, states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, where there's a fair amount of tribal population, now suddenly we are seeing some other problems shoot up, such as this problem that we are just showing you. There's a Muslim community in Garwa, and they have changed the school prayer, and they are saying that you can no longer do this, fold your hands in prayer. And next they will say, we will not sing Jai Hind. This is what Tamil Nadu has tried to do. So my question to you, Shekhar-ji, is what happened to development? What happened to serving the people? Why are these regional parties trying to, break the entire fabric of the country, sir?
Shriji, actually, the Jharkhand situation is exactly like what prevailed in Maharashtra before this coup happened. In fact, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha was an ally of BJP, and for the sake of Chief Minister's post, they aligned with Congress, and then there is a coalition there in which the partners are unhappy, just as they were unhappy in the Maharashtra, Maha Vikas Agadi. So there, things are ripe for a change. And the fact that the Modi chose Draupadi Murmu, a former governor of Jharkhand, a Santal leader, and we all know that Santals are spread all over, what used to be called the Greater Jharkhand, whether it is Bengal, the Jharkhand proper, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, they are extending everywhere. That's why you find even Mamata is now caught in a fix. I mean, she says, if I knew it was Murmu, I would have agreed. I mean, dumping Yashwant Sinha for good. Yashwant Sinha was her party president. She pushed his name. Now that she fears that if she were to oppose Murmu, rather she is going in for what is called the conscience vote. You can vote according to conscience, because large parts of South Bengal, particularly your Medinipur, your Dinajpur, then you have Purulia, Jangalmal, all these areas, which actually gave Mamata that push in all those, the first election or the second election. There, the people are, have burst out in great joy, seeing that one of them, a Santa leader, has been made the president. This is a great political stroke that has created a lot of problems for Mamata in Bengal. And in Ranchi, yesterday Draupadi Murmu went to Ranchi. She's visiting it after she had completed a term in Jharkhand in 2016. And there, what you are seeing is, not 2016, I would say 2021. And the kind of response she got, because JMM legislators, as well as even tribal legislators among, in the Congress party, and of course the BJP, they're all happy. And apart from that, she went and met the JMM patriarch, the Shibu Soren, and of course the Chief Minister Hemant Soren at their home. And both of them promised her support. They said, we have to support you. Now, this has rattled Congress, and you already have a Congress saying that, the JMM is part of UPA alliance. And previous to this, all these developments, we have seen they have had problems because the Congress was telling Hemant Soren, we must have a common agenda of governance, and then the Congress must accept, the Shibu Soren, Hemant Soren must accept some of the demands. The Congress ministers' demands must be met, in which in plain terms will mean ensure that they get to lay their hands on larger resources of the government. That's the basic meaning. Give their ministries more budget. That's the plain talk. Now, with this scenario, now Hemant Soren has said it in many words to a number of people. From what I gather from people, from their own JMM people, is he's fed up with the Congress. He would happily, look for a situation where JMM remains in the driving seat as in Maharashtra, and BJP supports them. So post-presidential election, you can see a big change happen in Jharkhand. That has worried the Congress. That is why even Mamata is worried. If this kind of thing is going to happen, then because see, in West Bengal there is a new scenario. See, the opposition BJP has suffered a heavy hit. A lot of people who went and joined BJP have come back. They have come home. So you have the old Trinamool, the loyal Trinamool, and the new loyal Trinamool, who all have been brought back by Abhishek Banerjee. Now, Abhishek Banerjee is biding his time. He thought, Mamata will eventually shift to center and he can take over. And Mamata cannot pull on, for till the next election. The last elections happened in 2021. So by 2026, by 2026, she has to hand over charge, but she can't see a central role for her. Now, so there are a lot of rumblings. We have seen in the civic elections, the distribution of tickets, Trinamool tickets, because the fight is within Trinamool. It's a Trinamool versus Trinamool in Bengal. So these developments are worrying her. Will BJP come for a kill? Or and Abhishek Banerjee, is facing ED. There is the infamous gold smuggling case which is going on, which his wife is under investigation. So these developments are worrisome for these regional satraps. So that's why JMM particularly, because on a matter of tribal loyalty, tribal pride, JMM cannot vote for Yashwant Sinha. That's very clear, because they cannot tell their voters why they should reject Draupadi Murmu. So that's a problem there. Now, that is why Navin Patnaik was the cleverest step of all of them. Moment they said Draupadi Murmu, he embraced her, because she has served him as a minister in a BJP-BJD coalition government. And she was a good minister. She was given independent charge of commerce and industry, if I'm right, and she did a good job. So therefore, you are seeing a scenario where, these parties are realizing that the symbolic fight, which they thought, and Yashwant Sinha, we all know, came after Sharad Pawar rejected it, refused to contest. Then you had Farooq Abdullah, then you had Gopal Krishna Gandhi. Opposition lacked not only a strategy, they lacked a candidate. And Yashwant Sinha was chosen for the simple reason he has tremendous spite for Modi. Now, on a presidential election, if you look at his statement of intent as a candidate, it's all about, trying to get into a constitutional chair to oppose Modi in a most unconstitutional way. He is looking at a scenario where it can be 𝙒𝙬𝙤 versus Rajiv Gandhi. But that obviously is not going to happen. And also the vice presidential election, which, today the date for nomination has opened. That is August, it's tomorrow, July, this month. Now, again, they don't have a candidate and they're waiting for NDA to make an announcement. And once Modi decides on a candidate, they are wondering who should they put up. That's again going to be symbolic, because in electoral college, which consists of members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, the NDA has a clear advantage.
Wonderful, sir. Viewers, one of the things I forgot to mention to you as to why I Shekhar Iyer's background is dark. There is a power outage from where he is living. He had a transformer problem outside, and he is running on battery, and his laptop is doing, so far it's keeping up. So we regret the technical inconvenience, but I think the sound is coming through fine. Shekharji, before we go, we don't have any questions today so far, so I'm not going to take any questions, because we are also sort of conscious of the fact that power could run out on your battery, on your laptop anytime. So one last question, sir. Everybody was thinking that after Maharashtra, it will be Rajasthan that will face the heat. And we haven't touched upon what is happening in Rajasthan. Your 2-minute observation on that, and then we'll call it a wrap. Please take it away, sir.
Well, in Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot has been waiting for too long. He is living on the promises made to him by Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. Finally there will be a change and he'll be given a chance, because they had gone to the people with Sachin Pilot as the PCC chief, the Pradesh Congress president, and he was, projected as CM candidate. But finally, when everything got over, they made Ashok Gehlot, because Ashok Gehlot was seen as financially more resourceful and able to deliver the resources as and when the party requires, and and he's an old hand. But subsequently, we have seen there was a revolt by legislators loyal to Sachin Pilot, and somehow that was capped with the promise that eventually it will be. Now, next year, that is end of 2023, you have elections in Rajasthan. But developments like Udaipur has created a havoc in the Congress, and particularly after somebody, I mean, a tailor was killed by his, I mean, with the help of people who were living close by. The 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 fear among the majority section of the population in Rajasthan is such that they wonder whether the administration failed, because initially the tailor was the Kanhaiya Lal was arrested for for putting a post in support of Nupur Sharma, and subsequently he was released, and that's how people got to know that he has done something wrong, whether it was proved or not. But what happened was he had sought protection, and police ignored it, and the incident happened. This has shocked everyone in Udaipur, particularly. There is tremendous anger. That anger has spread to not just other districts of Rajasthan, but also to parts of Haryana and, of course, Uttar Pradesh. And I mean, there is a sense of seeing that why the state government failed to protect him. Now, given this scenario, Congress is trying a new narrative that the people who were involved or who were accused of this crime were actually part of the BJP's minority cell. They were close to Gulab Chand Kataria, who is a former BJP Home Minister of Rajasthan, but without, or ignoring or deliberately looking askance at the facts that are emerging, that these GRD elements continue, efforts to somehow get access to BJP leaders, or they get nearer to places where they can be at a striking distance. We have seen this happening in the case of Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. You had a lady called Danu, who mingled with the Congress workers, and during that investigation of assassination case, we have seen how some local Congress supporters, Congress party workers, had actually provided her shelter and even hospitality without knowing what was she up to. Now, if you compare the parallels, can we say that local Congress people were involved in the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi? But Congress doesn't want to get to it because it sees a sense of despair and anger among the core voters of BJP, and it sees that this is the time to start a new narrative. But I'm not sure it will work. But in the meantime, Ashok Gehlot is seemed to be taking the Congress down, down and down, and I can't see how the party can rescue itself in this scenario.
A few minutes we have left, Shekhar ji. So I'd like you to go in this order. Telangana, you have touched upon a little bit. How about things in Andhra Pradesh and in Tamil Nadu? Do you see some viable opposition within the party itself? Because in Andhra Pradesh, we saw Raghuram Krishna Raju trying to raise a banner of revolt against Jagan Reddy, and he ran away to, he's sort of like hiding in New Delhi. He's a member of parliament, and he says that whenever he's been banned from going to the state. So there are some things in Andhra Pradesh that have not come out. Please touch upon Andhra Pradesh and then Tamil Nadu. If you want to add something on what you've already done in Telangana, also please feel free, sir. After that, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you very much.
Well, in Telangana, TRS has reasons to be scared about BJP, because the faces that the BJP is projecting in Telangana were actually ex-TRS workers. Whether it is Banta Sanjay Kumar or Itala, who won an by-election. And a lot of TRS people, could be looking at BJP as an option if they do not get tickets, or if they are not accommodated by the ruling elite, which is his own family. And that is one fear. And also the fact that Banta Sanjay Kumar had defeated Kavita, his daughter, in Nizamabad. So there is a worry that keeps on. That is why TRS has, we have seen particularly KCR has been on a kind of a hyper drive against Modi, in the hope that he can, that is the way he can combat Modi. But then Modi believes in a slow kill. So you can see the tempo building up over next 1 year, because the elections in Telangana will take place in December of 2023. And Andhra Pradesh is actually a different scenario, where Jagan Reddy wants to be an ally of Prime Minister Modi. That's clear. But then BJP is looking at being the viable opposition to YSR Congress, because Chandrababu Naidu has been ruining the day he joined hands with the Congress and dumped BJP. So today, Chandrababu Naidu is in a bad shape, TDP is in a bad shape, and TRS Jagan is playing carefully and he doesn't want to antagonize the central BJP. But the local BJP is restive because they have to fill that space which they feel the TDP is losing. So this is the scenario in Andhra, so where the BJP may be more tactical, deciding when to strike at Jagan. But when it comes to TRS, the battle lines are clear. In Tamil Nadu, what we are seeing is you are seeing Edappadi Palaniswamy is trying to consolidate his position, and well, he will take over in a matter of few days. He'll take complete charge of ADMK, and this is something the BJP has wanted because the ADMK should remain united. And the fact that OPS has been losing shine and some of his own close associates have been coming over to Edappadi's side, crossing that what is called the Tevar counter,
Divide.
normally what is
Divide.
rivalry, divide or rivalry. So that's a very interesting thing happening there. In the meantime, BJP under Annamalai has been surging ahead because being seen as the sole active opposition. See, that is the advantage that the BJP has gained in having Annamalai as chief. But DMK is having some problems. One is we discussed about the dynastic succession, which is very clear. There is not going to be any difference to that. It's only a question of time. The second thing is Stalin's health, because Stalin has been indisposed off and on. And within the party, there is a sense that, there are too many power centers. You have the Stalin's son, you have the Maran brothers, you have Stalin's wife, Durga, who also has an influence on the government decisions. Then, of course, you have the son-in-law, the Sabarisan. And Sabarisan, we know, is facing investigation from central agencies since the last elections. That's also worrying for them. So DMK feels, last 1 year, because they made so many promises, they've been unable to deliver on some of the major ones. And there is no money in the kitty. That's a basic thing. There is no money in the kitty. Just as Punjab feels, you promise a lot, there is no money in the kitty. So DMK feels the safe bet is to go back to those slogans which worked in the 60s and 70s. Anti-Hindi, you talk of central domination, you talk of domination by North Indians, and unfortunately for them, Prime Minister Modi is not a Brahmin. So he is an OBC. So their Brahmin card is not working. I mean, anti-Brahmin card is not working there. At the same time, people of Tamil Nadu have heard all these things because what they are looking for is, better jobs, better schools, better infrastructure. And Stalin missed a golden opportunity when Prime Minister was there, to inaugurate or launch some of the projects. He could have come in with his list of demands. Tamil Nadu want this or that. That the Prime Minister would have lapped up. He had a good example in Pinarayi Vijayan, the neighboring Chief Minister of Kerala. See, Pinarayi is playing his politics very clear. He knows in Kerala they have to deliver on jobs, and the only way jobs can come is to attract investment. Pinarayi is doing what Buddhadev Bhattacharya tried to do in West Bengal, and he was outsmarted by even more radical left that Mamata finally proved to be, and she has put the Bengal in a mess today. But Pinarayi is smart, is clever, and he believes in the only way to do is to bring new projects, big infrastructure projects, involve the local entrepreneurs, local businessmen, and he has sought the help of Prime Minister. Without getting into the merits of the Silver Line project, a new speed line from Thiruvananthapuram to Kasaragod. These are the kind of projects which the Prime Minister appreciates because infrastructure is getting a big boost with more than 1 lakh crores being earmarked for these projects. So Stalin did not do what Pinarayi has done so far. Instead, he has fallen back to those old things, GST dues and all that, where facts are otherwise. So I do not know what DMK gains. And also, individual leaders like A. Raja, they are worried about their own role. So that's why they go back to Periyar, saying Periyar said this, Periyar wanted that. But in today's Tamil Nadu, in fact, they rather would believe in the dream that Jayalalitha sold to them. One day Tamil Nadu will become Singapore. If somebody were to come and say that, they would lap it up. Rather than, going back to the time Tamil Nadu will be alone. Already across the Park Strait, you are seeing what's happening in Sri Lanka with severe economic crisis, offices being closed, and no gas available in the in the cities. Yeah. Now you have seen what's happening there because no man is an island and no state can be an island today. So these slogans are not going to work anymore, which Tamil Nadu people will solidly reject it. Because ultimately what will matter is delivery on the ground, which DMK is finding it difficult at this stage.
So I can't but end this with one question, sir. This was asked by one of our viewers. Who is the Eknath Shinde of DMK?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Even though, publicly they have been attacking the BJP and the Prime Minister, you have seen birthday messages going from Home Minister Amit Shah to Kanimuri. You have seen DMK leaders like T.R. Balu frequently seeking appointments with central ministers, with even Prime Minister, going back. I mean, publicly they say they take the Tamil Nadu's demands, Tamil Nadu's problems. But one often wonders why so many meetings and so many things, because the DMK members of parliament are a frustrated lot. They are a huge number. But then, without a role in the central government, without a role in the and then they realize that how foolishly they have hitched themselves to Congress, and Stalin went to last election with the promise of making Rahul Gandhi Prime Minister. Now, this promise, if one recall, I mean, if the DMK were to recall, they will know will never happen in 2024. So therefore, there is a lot of churning, but they are helpless because they don't see, Narendra Modi, losing his command as the position obtaining today. So therefore, they do not know what to do, because ultimately, this rhetoric of the anti thing is not gelling with the constituency. Okay, because there is a pressure. I mean, of course, we must acknowledge there is a pressure group by way of the Dravidian, what you call the so-called Dravidian forces, whether it is Dravidar Kazhagam or ultra Tamil nationalistic groups, which would want, DMK fights their battle. But that's not it's not going nowhere.
Wonderful, sir. This has been a revelation of sort, because we have kind of traversed the length and breadth of India, and I'm hoping that we'll be back with such a conversation again in about a week or two's time, where we'll just go back and revisit all these, realignment of forces happening. Because after the presidential election is over, there will be some dust settling down, battle lines will be drawn. You brought up some very, very interesting observations that perhaps escaped the attention of many of the viewers. Everybody has been consumed with Nupur Sharma, Udaipur incident, but there is also all these dynamics at play. Thank you very much, Shekhar Iyer ji, and really, really hoping that we'll have more such useful conversations from you, sir. Viewers, please send in your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if with your support, I would like to bring more luminaries such as Shekhar Iyer, who has a very good grasp of what is happening not only at the center but also at the state level. Namaskaram, and thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It has been a pleasure. Thank you.